Turner.
Timmy Turner. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another
Happy wish for a
episode.
burner. We never late to the party. We always get the schmut off.
I caught you off guard this time, motherfucker.
I had my hand on the thing already. I
Nah,
was
you,
waiting for you to talk.
you didn't do it right, brother. I hate to break it to you. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Outlier podcast. As always, I am your host, Saul, here with Rogers, or also known from Roger Reacts YouTube channel. About to hit 1,000 subs. You're at 900 and what?
988. We're 12 away.
Damn. Go
I
ahead
have a
and
public service announcement, bro.
What is that?
So I told you this, but I wanted this podcast to be the first one to know it. As when I say first to know it, I'm not gonna let my other podcast know until maybe another week. But I'm going to be fully dedicating myself to this podcast because I'm going to be discontinuing my podcast officially.
Wow.
I'm not gonna completely take it down because I feel like eventually I love the large format content so much. I love podcasts, and I feel like I will eventually meet new people in the future that I would like to have conversations with. But as of right now, I just feel so depleted in content. Like, I don't want to invite you every single week because that's not what that podcast is about. That podcast is about inviting, several people, or, just a spontaneous conversation. And if I'm just going to have you, might as well just dedicate, myself to this podcast. So
Yeah,
that's what we're going to be doing. And I'm going to be focusing on the reaction channel. So guys, in just a month, we've gained 800 subscribers. So go check us out on Roger Reacts. We're going crazy over there.
Yeah, help him get to 1K subs, guys. He's only 12 away. But man, that's crazy, bro. I appreciate you being exclusive to the Outlier podcast now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just difficult, bro. And I think the payout for me just wasn't worth it, especially with the Roger Reacts channel just blowing up. And I'm kind of getting my fix here with you and with everybody watching this podcast. I'm like, at least I get to sit down once a week and just kind of just talk about life and stuff like that, and that fulfills me. So
Do you want to explain why you're stopping it, or did you already?
yeah, I did already. It's basically it's extremely hard to find guests for the topics that I want. Is essentially what it is. Takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, and I kind of really just want to focus on the reaction channel for now. So
Yeah, well, I don't think the time and energy is the problem. I think the result from your other channel just beats it by far, right? So just makes sense.
yeah, I've had the Common podcast for 2 years, and I've
how many
passed
subs? How many subs do you have on that one?
270
Damn! Holy shit!
for 2 years, and the podcast I've had it for less than 4 months, and I'm about to hit 1K.
God damn!
So you can see, where it's more beneficial to put my time in, because at the end of the day, I'm an adult with responsibilities and a family, so I have to be careful on what I'm choosing as my quote unquote pastime, because the reaction channel could possibly, I'm about to be a YouTube partner because I've met all the credentials already. So I'll be able to make some side money on that. That's also going to help me out. You know what I mean? So I need to be careful on where I'm putting all my time and energy because I have responsibilities, So the reaction channel is going to help me with money. Then I gotta be disciplined in that.
Yeah, guys. Well, you guys heard it here first. He is now exclusive to the Outlier podcast. So
It hurts, guys. I hope you all know I put so much time and energy and money into the podcast.
Me too.
It's crazy.
Into yours.
You used it as a tax write-off, though.
Nah, yeah, I'm being petty because I like bringing up the fact that I bought him a mic for his podcast before he was getting into it. So it's a little joke. We joke around with each other like that, but yeah. All right, guys, let's get into the hot seat questions. We're not really doing would you rather's anymore because they're just kind of played out. So I know you have a couple, so let's get into them.
Yeah. So first one, I know you're gonna get a little laugh at it, but try to answer it seriously. Is it okay to date your friend's ex?
Well, are we talking because I don't know. I don't want to bring up the specific situation, right? But I think if we're talking about a friend, no, it's not okay, right?
Mhm.
But some people use the word or sorry, the term friend very loosely.
Mhm.
So what is considered an acquaintance to me might be considered a friend to somebody else. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
So it just depends on what you consider a friend. But if we're talking like about a real friend, then no, it's not okay. But an acquaintance for me, I wouldn't see a problem with that,
Yeah.
right? Someone that I'm
The
just
way
cordial with and whatever.
the way I see it is that if if you're not willing to lose that friendship, then obviously it's not, you shouldn't be crossing that line. For instance, like me with you, right? I would never cross that barrier and date
Hmm.
your ex, even if that was a possibility. Just wouldn't do it. Because to me, I value you as a friend and I wouldn't be willing to lose you as a friend over some girl, right?
Yeah.
But I think where it starts to get blurry, like you said, is how far out does that boundary cease to exist,
Hmm.
right? Because if and for me it's just that am I willing to lose this person for this girl,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And so I think that's where the line is drawn, and I think that line looks completely different for different people.
Do you want to talk about? No, right?
Nah.
No.
Nah. Nah.
No.
I feel like some people that I know
Are
watch this
they're
podcast and they're
gonna
gonna,
know?
yeah, they're gonna
Yeah.
connect the dots. I'd rather not.
Yeah, that's crazy. What about so you think it's not
No,
okay?
so it's not okay if they're your friend, if you're considering, like, again, I think it depends. Like, are you willing to lose that friendship for that girl?
Yeah, but let's say you are willing to, but does that make it okay?
Yeah, I don't think, like, a lot of people think that, like, my old co-host, where he was just like, if my wife and I get a divorce, then nobody in our circle or anybody I know is allowed to date her. I'm like, how can you, like, once y'all are done, y'all are done. You don't get have any say in her life,
Mm-hmm.
right? Does that make sense? But at the same time, it comes a consequence, right? So it's like, for instance, if my friend started dating my ex, I would be like, I probably wouldn't hang around with them anymore, like, as much. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
but
I would.
would you look at them differently or no?
Oh yeah, but I wouldn't hate on them though. I wouldn't be like, oh, he did me dirty, whatever. I'm just gonna be like, all right, bro, like that's just gonna be kind of weird now.
Yeah, but and then let's say they break up and they kind of want to rekindle that friendship with you. Are you fine with that or no?
Mm.
Can you see past that or is that like no, I can't be friends with you anymore type of thing?
That's a situation that I probably have to actually live out in order for me to, like, really decide. But I want to say yes, but I really don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, for me it's a
Yeah.
I can't be friends with you if you date my ex and then I mean like you said, right? Like I'll be kind of like wow, like this whole time you wanted to peel that motherfucking cat back blue on my ex,
That's true,
right?
right?
Because at some point when you were together, you probably introduced them, and right. So for to kind of like go back and think like, oh, she was attracted to him and he was attracted to her, right? Because it's not something that's spontaneous that just grows out of nowhere. Like, there was a study showing that people know within like the first 12 seconds of seeing each other eye to eye if they would pursue
Feel the muffin
something.
cat.
Yeah, if they would pursue something, right?
Yeah.
So it's been a planted seed. So just to kind of know that that was a thing, like you know, in the past, I couldn't get past that. I don't think.
Now, here's the crazy thing. Have you ever been in a situation where a friend of yours has been a little bit hesitant on bringing their significant other near you?
Yeah, it's actually a running joke within my friends. There's probably like four of us, and I think I'm the most attractive out of all of them. Not to toot my own horn, but my friends are just basic looking dudes that don't really care about their appearance, I guess. They don't work out or anything like that, right? They're just kind of like your average American, which is disrespectful, right? But whatever. But yeah, it's kind of a running joke, and I don't see why, just because I work out or something, that makes me more likely to get women in their eyes, I guess. Even though that's not true.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I have some friends, those who I will not name, that I see tend to get very hostile when I'm around their significant other, whether that be wife or girlfriend. And it's very weird to see because it's like it shows that the insecurity. It's like they're wearing it on their sleeve, and I'm like, what? It's like night and day. I'm like, what? This guy's acting a little weird, a little off. It's just kind of weird to, I don't know, to think about. I think that's not a good look. I don't think that's a good look. Like I don't do that. Like if my friends are around my wife, I'm like, oh cool, whatever. But
yeah,
I think that just shows a lot of insecurity.
I think it's very natural though. I will say that because I can see how it's probably in prehistoric times when males were with their partner, any man would come around, regardless of being attractive or not. It was probably like a competitive thing deep rooted within us to kind of protect what is yours. So
Yeah.
I could see where that's like a very natural thing, right?
Yeah, well, men are very territorial, right?
Yeah, for sure. So I don't see an issue with people being like that as long as you don't kind of portray that and let people see that, because I do see that as a weakness. Because if you start like, if you make it noticeable that you're bothered by another man's presence, you just look like a pussy, honestly.
Yeah, you go down in the hierarchy, and it actually works against you because if your chick like sees that,
yeah,
yeah,
she feeds
she's
off
loses
that.
respect. Yeah, she loses respect for you, and a lot of guys do not understand that. They think it's the opposite. They think that if they act territorial, that they're attracted to that. It's like no, it's like dang, this guy obviously feels threatened by this other guy. He must be superior,
Yeah,
right? So if he feels inferior, he must, fit that bill.
yeah,
And
exactly.
so, even if you feel that way, this is for the guys listening to the podcast. If you feel that way, do not show it.
Yeah.
Don't express it.
Well, I think just with women in general, you shouldn't show a lot of. I know it's very popular now to say to be vulnerable with women and show your emotions and
be a simp. No.
yeah, but they don't like that shit. Let me tell you that. Like it's not true. It's kind of an agenda going around that will kind of get you in with women, but it's just they just lose respect for you and they don't. It doesn't work in your favor. Trust me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm studying this thing that I don't want to say yet because I don't have it fully connected, but it talks about basically how a lot of the things that is pushed in the media is completely opposite. And I'll get to that later. But all right, you want to jump into the second hot seat question? It's kind of related with
yeah, go ahead.
I have it written down here. You're in a public place with your girlfriend. Okay? You go to the restroom. On your way back, you see a guy pulls up to your chick and he starts macking with her, starts to try to flirt with her. What do you do? Kind of ties in.
Macking meaning like spitting game and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, because macking down here to me means kissing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was macking on her. To me means I was kissing on her.
Okay.
So she was. So wait, say it one more time. I was distracted by that word.
You went to the restroom. You're coming back. A guy goes up to her and starts flirting with her in front of you. What do you do?
Nothing. Yeah.
I just wait till he's done.
So, I believe. No, I don't wait till he's done. I'm saying like in the sense of like
you like slide in.
What's up? In the sense of confronting the guy, I'm not gonna tell the guy anything, or her anything. I'm walking up to them and what's up? You know, just join in the conversation like nothing. Because I believe in, at the end of the day, it's the woman's job to police their own shit, if that makes sense, right? So
Mhm.
if a girl is attractive and she's constantly getting hit on, that's her job to take care of that.
Mhm.
Especially if she's your partner, she has responsibility to deny those men and to not give them the chance, because you can't always be there. The man can't always be there, and you just look crazy as fuck. Just being that guy, like, hey man, why are you talking to my girl? Like, you can't be that guy. I believe it's the woman's responsibility to take it into her own. And plus, it's like, what would you want the guy to do, right? You would want the guy to turn down the girl. So, same thing, right? You would want the girl to turn down the guy and make it obvious that it's not going to happen. So I would leave it up to her. And if she doesn't do the right
Yeah.
thing, you don't, you know.
Yeah, I liked what you just said there because that's where I'm headed to. I think it's a good sign or a good opportunity to for you to evaluate your chick,
Mm-hmm.
because how are they going to deal with that type of attention, right? Are they going to be invitational with it? Are they going to like be harshly declining? Or are they going to be somewhere in the middle where, maybe they're uncomfortable, they don't want to be rude or anything like that, but they're like, oh, I'm here with somebody. Like that's very telling on how a girl, you know, reacts to something like that. So I feel like that's another situation where if a girl doesn't handle it too well, it's like maybe you should just move
Yeah. No,
along,
yeah, that
you know?
says a lot. You want them to handle it correctly, because if we're out in public just sober eating lunch and that happens and she kind of entertains it or like is laughing and whatever,
Imagine when you're not there.
imagine when you're not there and she's out with the girls at the club, right? Super, like
Hmm.
getting those drinks in. And you and I have both been to clubs and bars, and we know how it is, right? Guys go out there to
Bro,
try to get chicks, and that's the only objective. That's the only reason the man is out. Um, as far as for women, I feel like women go out for validation, but men are actually there for, like, to go home with somebody.
bro, I've gone to a club and linked up with a girl there at the club who had a boyfriend. This has happened several times where they have a boyfriend, they're trying to come have a good time,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Oh,
um,
100%. Yeah, man. Girls are. I mean, I feel like girls that just go clubbing and partying in general don't really have good morals.
that's bold.
Bro, I mean, I'm being serious. Like, I don't know. I've never met one that's kind of been well rounded, a well rounded person.
I totally agree. I love that you're being bold because that's why I chose
In my
to
experience, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just
yeah.
saying from the people I've met, and I've met a few, they've always been kind of a little dirty. Like you're speaking about that experience. One time I was at the bar, and there was this girl. She was really attractive. I would give her a 9. Anyways, she was with she was with the dude, right? And they were dancing. Are you are you good, bro?
Bro, you just subjected women, and
No,
that's
she was bad, bro. She was a 9. Anyways, um,
all the girls in the comments be like, okay,
no,
well then, what is she missing to be a 10?
so check it out. This guy was he was super territorial. Like, he had his
Mm.
arms around her, like grabbing onto the bar, and like kind of had her in a trap, right? And so she couldn't get out. And eventually, like later on that night, she was by herself, and I noticed that. And so, right, I'm a fucking piece of shit. So I took my opportunity. I went up to her and I started talking to her. And she said, it turns out that he got mad because he got insecure or some bullshit, right? And they were texting all night, and he left home and she stayed, and she didn't have a ride home. And I didn't offer her a ride home or anything, but
Oh, I was like, damn.
her and I ended up like spending the rest of the night together while she's still texting them, arguing. She's dancing on me, grinding on me, kissing on me, the whole thing. While this poor guy is at home texting, insecure as fuck. So women are crazy, man.
Yeah, man.
That gives you a whole nother perspective of women. I grew up with the perception that women are like princesses, right? They act like it, they look like it, they're feminine, but they have a dark side. I feel like everyone does. It's just human. They're not perfect.
Yeah. 100%. So I guess going back to the actual question, I feel like the message for anybody listening right now is like, guys, if you're going through that, I feel like do not overreact. Don't be one of those over territorial guys, because yeah, you might get the guy away, but your girl's gonna be embarrassed. She might lose a little bit of respect for you, and you're probably gonna be, the laughing stock of the guy and whoever he's with. They're gonna be like, damn, did you see that? Whatever, whatever. And the same thing goes vice versa, though. I wouldn't just like completely ignore it either. Like, I think you said it perfect. Like, join in, right? Because what if your chick is feeling uncomfortable and, she wants out? I think you said it perfectly. Just casually join into the conversation. Hey, what's going on, guys? Like, or, I don't know. Something very casual. I think just don't overreact is the perfect way to approach it.
100%, but use that as a learning opportunity to learn about your chick, to know if that's a woman you can be with long term. Because if she is a woman you can be with long term, she's gonna shut it down and do the right thing. If she entertains it, bro, you gotta move on. Simple. It's easier said than done, but you gotta do. And every guy knows if the woman he's with could potentially be a long term partner or not. They just don't want to act on it because for whatever reason. But yeah, men aren't dumb as we're not as dumb as girls think.
Yeah.
That's the same reason why men don't you always hear about women complaining about, oh, he won't propose, he won't commit. It's because he doesn't want you. It's very simple. It's not because of whatever. He just doesn't want to marry you. That's just what happens. If a man wants to marry you, he'll make it a pretty speedy
I
process.
think we think very simplistically, right? We're very simple. If we want it,
Yeah.
if we want to do something, we're gonna do it. It's not complicated.
Yeah, 100%. Wait, is that the last hot seat question you got?
I have more, but I think we'll save it for the next pod.
Okay. I like these hot seat questions, bro.
Yeah,
they're very hot and seated. All right. So Nancy Pelosi's, I don't know how to say it, Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi's husband was home alone, I believe, sleeping. I don't know how old this story is. I just barely found out about it not too long ago. So I'm sorry if this is old. Anyways, he was home alone, and someone broke into his mansion because they're rich. If you didn't know, the Pelosi's. They broke into his house. It was just one guy, and he held him hostage with a hammer, waiting for Nancy Pelosi to get home, because the guy that broke in was after the wife, but she wasn't home. So he waited with the husband with a hammer. Somehow the husband called the cops. The cops show up, and there's a video. I'm gonna play that video for you guys. This is the body cam footage of the cops.
Yeah, literally sitting there. Hi, how you doing?
How are you?
What's going on, man?
Everything's good.
Hi. Drop the hammer.
Nope. Hey.
What is going on right
I'm
now?
not getting an answer on call back.
Bro, oh shit.
Calls in the area that you're calling in, yeah.
I got him, Michael.
That's insane. And if you guys listen closely, you can hear snoring.
Code 3 back up at 26.
Give me your fucking hand.
Unit code
Give me your fucking
How dare
hand.
you laugh,
wait for
bro.
14 hours.
All right, that's it.
Like a
So,
light.
The reason I mentioned the snoring is because you can't really tell in the video, but the man actually hit him in the head with the hammer. And he's in the hospital recovering from his injuries. He's not going to die or anything. He's just hurt. But he knocked him out cold with the hammer.
Yeah, bro, this video just looks completely wacky. Looks super weird. There's a lot of speculation on Twitter. Tim tweeted it. I retweeted it. Guys, go follow me on Twitter, or Rogers with 2 S's. But anyways, A lot of people saying that it was fake, and I don't blame them for saying that because it looks just off. It looks super weird. Like it just looks something out of like a super poorly edited scary movie, like a scary movie that you'd see in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they open the door and this guy's just standing there with a hammer. They're side by side, like next to each other. Like
They're
I don't
both
know,
holding
just-
it. Like,
yeah, it's so weird.
yeah, man, I just don't understand how they got to. I don't know. I don't understand how the guy that broke in allowed him to call the cops,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't understand how he allowed him to hold on to the hammer. Like, how the fuck does that make sense? And how
just
he was
so
like,
weird.
how he was like, oh, let's go answer the door together. Like, let me hold a hammer with you. And like, what the fuck? That was for sure that guy's first time ever holding someone hostage, because that's some rookie shit. What the fuck was that? Right?
No, I think it's just a weird situation. Like the whole thing, just like I don't know.
I'm sure there's so like for those people that don't know, the Pelosi's are political people, so there's a lot of conspiracy theories behind this. So I don't know.
Yeah, Nancy has a lot of targets on her back actually from conspiracy theorists and spaces on Twitter actually, because apparently she's rigged certain avenues of income in order to gain a mass amount of money.
Yeah, I mean, the position she holds, I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend to know what she does. I don't know, but whatever job she holds in the government pays about $100,000 to $200,000 a year, and she's made over $200 million. Obviously not from the government, but from people assume from avenues and connections in the government, right? From inside trading is what I heard. I don't know, but yeah, apparently very corrupt people.
Yeah. What's the next one?
The next one is a Scooby-Doo one. So this one I did not know about until you told me.
Scooby Dooby.
You might know this a little bit better than me, so go ahead and explain it.
Yeah, so I don't know it too well, but basically they're making a flip on Scooby Doo, where it is Velma's story of Scooby Doo. Now we've seen movies do this, like the Shrek, where they did Puss in Boots, Lion King, where they did Timon and Pumbaa, stuff like that. So, totally fine with that. But this is where like it starts to get really crazy. We're having a Little Mermaid thing popping up now, where they want to make a spin off of Scooby Doo, but they change the ethnicities of like half the cast of what we've seen so far. We don't even know the full cast. And what we've seen so far, Scooby Doo is nowhere to be seen. So it's like, what are we doing here, right? So Velma, let me check it out here. Velma is actually an Indian American. So people were confusing her to be African American, black, but she actually isn't. She's just Indian American.
Go ahead. I'm pulling up the
Shaggy,
pictures.
yeah, Shaggy, who is now going to be called Norville, is black. He's going to be black. And there was a lot of controversy. I'll get to that after. Then there's Daphne, who's actually going to be an Asian descendant who was adopted by married lesbian detectives named Donna and Linda. So obviously now we're having the LGBTQ community integrated in the agenda of, whatever, this new series. And then the other guy is he stayed white. They had to have a white person in there just to involve everybody.
Just have some privilege in it.
So I want to go back to Norville, Shaggy, who's now black, because there's a lot of controversy from the African American side of the Twitter space and a podcast that I watched. So basically, they're like, why do you got to make the stoner
Black.
black? They were mad because it's like, okay, y'all are gonna go ahead and make the guy that seems dumb, incompetent, and a stoner black. So
You can't win with people, bro. Like they get
Yeah.
what they want, and then it's just I can't believe it. Like, imagine if they would have made the dog a fucking chihuahua. You think
Or
people
cat.
would? Yeah, or a fucking buffalo. I don't know. They're just doing what they want, which is cool. But I'm not watching that shit.
We're not watching that, bro.
For me, it doesn't look too different. For the three main characters, which is it Fred?
Yes, it is Fred. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
So
right.
Fred doesn't look different. Velma doesn't look different. Or sorry, Daphne doesn't look too different. And then Velma just looks like they just made her darker. Like she looks exactly the same. So the biggest like turn off for me is Shaggy. Shaggy looks nothing like fucking. He just looks like a whole new character. Like that does not resemble Shaggy at all to me.
Yeah.
So I ain't watching
and so
that shit.
the target was supposed to target the audience that grew up on Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
And so they wanted to like readdress that. You think people that grew up on Scooby-Doo is gonna want?
How the hell do you expect people to want to watch that when Scooby-Doo himself isn't even in it? There is no dog.
Bro.
There's no dog in there. Like, what the I ain't watching that. The best part was Scooby-Doo going Raggy. Or was it? Yeah. Raggy and eating the Scooby snacks and all that. And now there's no dog. And then the second best character was Shaggy. Right? Or actually, it's debatable. But for sure, the top two, like, best characters, Shaggy and Scooby.
Main characters.
And fucking Shaggy isn't even in it. Like, it's some random
Norville.
dude. Norville. They got a different dude to fucking be it. So it's crazy.
I feel like we can just go on the same conversation that we had with Little Mermaid, where we're like, okay, we get it. Like you wanted to come back to an iconic series, but why do you have to push this crazy agenda on the new series? Why can't entertainment just be entertainment? If you want to push an agenda, come out with a new series, come out with brand new characters, brand new storyline. But yet we're here trying to bleed in agendas into what is already established. Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. And again with I feel like every time we criticize something that's supposed to be woke, we come off as we're against it, which is so sad, right? Like like we're against black people or whatever, which is obviously not true, but it sucks that you share your opinion and you're seen as a bad guy, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. It's whatever. I just really hope that they don't get too many views. I hope that, No, I really do. It's not just for that series.
That
just
way
so
other people don't do it.
Yes, exactly. In the future, people know, do not mess with established series.
Have you seen Garfield? No, Garfield is
the movie.
Yeah,
I seen the movie.
It's an orange cat, bro. Imagine if they changed that. They're like, no, it's not right. It's we gotta make it a black cat.
It has to be a hairless cat.
Yeah, or a hairless cat or whatever. Like, it's not the same. It's not Garfield anymore, right? Like, that's not what Garfield is. Or Stuart Little. If Stuart Little was a fucking hamster now or some shit, it's just not. It's not the same.
RP.
Something different.
RP Stewart. You see Stewart died?
Oh yeah, in Chicago, he got shot up.
Yeah, bro. They took him out, bro. That's what we should have talked about in this podcast.
They clapped his ass, man.
That's crazy.
All right, guys. Thank you guys very much for tuning in for this 34 minutes now. Instead of Would You Rathers, I'm going to ask you guys to suggest hot topic questions. If you don't know what that is, it's basically just a topic that's controversial that can...
very situational, though. Like, very practical. Something that you see on a day-to-day basis or you would hear of. Yeah. Such as if a guy goes up to your chick or vice versa. If a girl goes up to your guy, what would you do? Mm-hmm. Practical stuff like that.
Yeah. Give us some of those and we'll answer them in the next podcast. Go get my mans to 1,000 subscribers. He's only 12 away. We're recording this on Friday. So by the time this goes up, which is Saturday, if you're watching this on Saturday, go give him a sub, get him to 1,000 subs. support my boy, and also show this channel some love too. Give some likes, subs, all that good stuff if you're new. So, yeah. Anything else?
No, I'm just excited that Saul would let me have this hot seat question segment because I really wanted to switch it up for you all. I know we were doing the Would You Rathers, which is cool too, but I just felt like it was New Year and I feel like we needed to implement a new segment. And so I asked him to let me do this hot seat take thing, and I think it's working out. So
yeah, honestly, I really enjoy them because they're very like they could be like talked about, like for instance the girl going up to the guy going up to your girl one. That one could be so easily like, oh, just go tell the guy to leave, right? But if you really think about it, you're like, no, like what's the real response I want to give? And that's what makes me think, and that's what I like about it. So very enjoyable for sure. So nothing else you want to add, right?
No, that's it.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.